All right, I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6:30. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first step is to amend the agenda. Does anyone need to amend the agenda tonight? Hearing none, we'll move on to approve our previous minutes from the April 22nd meeting. Do we have a motion?
Make the motion.
A second. Is there any discussion? Jeffrey, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Previous minutes have passed. Are there any public comments for items not on the agenda? Want to come up and have a seat? Just state your names.
Yeah, I'm Tom Dunn, and I was helping during May Day with Jim Bennett in the Paradise Park. And he happened to mention that there was a spot open. So I sent Tom a letter, and Jim said he would talk to Tom and such, as they know I'm interested, because they can have 9 people. And just for the state of saying, 4 of us in one spot planted 21 trees. It was great. It was hard work, but it was worth it. And I really like the opportunity to be with them, because then it can help me with my other ventures and do the stuff I like to do outside. Just leaving it to the board and Tom.
It's on the agenda and you're on the list of appointments.
So
Awesome.
I'm all set.
Well, they got to vote, but
Okay.
the plan is to,
Correct.
it's being
But is it eventually you'll be?
in either 5 minutes or 25 minutes or.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, tonight. It's on the
I don't know.
agenda, yeah.
Thanks, Tom. There was a public comment that came through email to the board from Daniel Wartz regarding the prison farm site. That public comment is in the packet tonight, if anybody wants to look at it. Are there any other public comments for items not on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll go into new business. First up is action item. Consider a revision to the previously adopted Tier 1B resolution due to action by the LRB.
Okay, we have Jason Rasmussen, of the Regional Planning Commission, to kind of give us an update on what's been happening over there.
Hi there. So as a refresher, the regional plan, which we are currently trying to update, has two new things that are very impactful for the town. So the way we do our future land use map is gives you automatic designation for downtown designation. So that's a status quo thing that we're doing. We also have the ability to create these Tier 1B areas, and that creates essentially an Act 250 exempt area for housing projects. So we were proposing the areas surrounding the downtown, and we were proposing at one point the Windsor prison site. And we went through the land use review board, that's LRB. They had a pre-application review of our plan about a month and a half ago, I think it was. And they said, no, thank you. Don't do that. You'll need a new category for the prison site. There's a couple of reasons for that, but I'll spare you the details. But we're thinking of, we also had a lot of comment on that as well. So we did, initially we had shown the prison site area based on the parcel boundary, which is like 112 or something acres. We shrunk it down considerably to be basically the fence line around the prison. They don't like the village area designation that we were thinking about. So we're thinking that we're going to call it a redevelopment area or something like that. We can create our own designation. That's what we're thinking of doing. We did talk to the planning commission chair about that, but that's something we need to craft in language. I'm happy to take questions or concerns on that. But as a result, we thought it would be appropriate to redo the resolution that you signed a few months ago to just include the downtown and the area surrounding it.
Yes, Jeffrey.
I'm just curious if you could define the area surrounding town. I know what downtown is, but what else is around us?
So we're calling a planned growth area that's going to be more or less where the water and sewer service areas are, right around the downtown. It does not extend up Route 5 north, like with the roadside business district and some of those things are. It's short of that, but it's really just the high density and maybe a little of the medium density neighborhood areas.
Okay, beyond County Road or County Road, the boundary, or I'm just trying to get it in my head, the boundary.
It goes up to the hospital.
Hospital, okay.
That end of things, and goes out to the old armory,
Okay.
rec fields there on the other end of town. That's more or less the built up part of town.
It's already developed land, okay. And okay, keep talking. Are we thinking we're gonna continue to develop the land that's already, that land? I mean, is that?
For this planned growth area that I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, the idea is essentially it just makes certain housing projects exempt from Act 250.
Okay.
And it really just allows a developer to have an easier path forward. They still have to follow your zoning and your town plan, but I think we're fairly in line with your town plan as it is. And it really just makes the process a little easier.
But it seems to me it's already developed.
It's largely developed. It allows for redevelopment, it allows for some infill. And there are some vacant spots though.
Oh, there are.
Which make it
Okay.
A little easier.
Just trying to visualize what we're talking about.
Did you have a question? I did. So right now because they turned down the prison property, we're doing the boundaries that you described and not the prison property.
So we've mapped so most of the prison property, the wildlife management area surrounding it,
Yes.
that's going to remain what we're calling rural conservation. We shrunk the prison property itself down to get what it is, 16 or 18 acres, something like that, just really the fence line. And we're going to call that, instead of calling it the village area, we're going to call that redevelopment area. And
Okay, so that'll
it's gonna
be
a little more loose and it won't have Act 250 exemptions and it allow for any number of things to happen there.
that would be my next question. Is it like, I'm assuming it's not like there would be a Dairy Queen there, like what kind of businesses or like, is it businesses or houses or?
We haven't really crafted it yet. And if there's suggestions, we're happy to listen. I think our initial concept is to be housing or some mixed use development like that, that's been talked about over the years. So it could be a farm, it could be houses, it could be houses with some state and or commercial uses mixed in. It could be a combination of things, but we're open to conversation about
Yeah.
what the details are.
Go ahead. Mary.
I was just gonna say, it could be housing, it could be small businesses, it's not necessarily gonna be a Dairy Queen.
No, I know.
It could be, any kind of a small business. It could be a senior center if you wanted to put it up there. It could be all kinds of things of that mixed use.
And it would come through our planning commission, like the state has oversight on the categories and what the state involvement is. So if it goes with this, like a development area, it just means it is eligible for development if it meets a whole bunch of other criteria. The biggest change here is the village area would have exempted it from Act 250 oversight. So that goes away and there would be Act 250 oversight should something get developed there. But what gets developed there is still largely influenced by the town's desires.
Largely, we're a little vague in our language because we want the town plan and the town zoning to really control the day. So probably we wouldn't get crazy levels of detail, but that's the idea.
Plus we don't.
Jeffrey.
So, yeah, I mean, do we have the update or a status update on the state's willingness to let that go? I mean, it seems to me, I mean, I guess I'm wondering how much planning can we do, not knowing it's ours? I mean, I guess I'm wondering if we're putting the cart before the horse.
Perhaps we are a little cart before the horse with our previous conversation. Yeah, the state still owns it.
Yep.
And so, yeah, nothing's gonna really happen there until they sell it or give it away.
So this is just fantasy at this point.
Well, it's not, they're doing the regional plan
Okay,
and they have to have a designation for that plan.
okay,
So that is
Okay.
a broader
Implications.
footprint than ours. The detail that comes along.
Right.
Yeah, there's gotta be a lot of different things to happen, but this just says this can happen and this can't happen in general.
Right.
Maybe like as a select board, we could reach out to the state. I know other people have, but like we could get that conversation started. And I don't know, maybe it would help if multiple areas.
I've attended meetings. It's
Yeah.
started. It started.
Okay.
They talk in circles.
Okay.
It really is. It goes nowhere. In either
I would say
direction.
Joe Major had said he was gonna take that on, when he became,
did.
so, we could reach out to him and say, hey, you making any progress? Cause he's up there at the State House. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too concerned about it because we don't own it. We don't need to kind of get too crazy in the weeds about it.
I do think though, when
We should know about it.
working with the town plan, I think what should happen there should be part of that conversation. It's conceivable that the state's gonna want another prison there.
Mhm.
So I think I would encourage that conversation. Town can talk about what they truly want there.
Sure.
So we have to do a new motion and a new vote for the new wording.
There's a new resolution that
Gotcha.
does not include the prison site anymore. It's just the downtown and surrounding area. So yeah, there would need to be a motion to approve that. That's
All the
resolution.
wording is exactly the same, except where it referenced the prison and a village area that was removed.
Okay.
So I'm willing to make a motion. How do you want me to word it? So we're just changing the status of the tier 1B requests.
Maybe
To-
the revision, call it a revision here.
Yeah, I would say, a vote to, update the municipal resolution on tier 1B status that had been prior approval by the board
Okay.
to eliminate references to the prison.
Or you could second what Tom said.
Okay. What Tom said.
Second. Is there any more discussion? Jeffrey, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye. All right, so that has passed. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Hang around.
I will.
No.
We're going to move on with another action item. Consider 2026 municipal appointments.
So here we go, Tom. Didn't have to wait that long. Oh, you don't have to get back up. So you've received a list of all of the appointments that are outlined in our charter. I will read down them if you want, and I would suggest when you hear them, you vote on them as a slate, unless you want to do it differently.
Okay.
We'll start with assistant town clerks. That's Riley White and Deb Olmsted. That's status quo. Assistant town treasurers, Tiffany Bosaw, Natalie Homa, and Riley White, also status quo. Zoning administrator, Hallie Abudayash, status quo. Assessor, Michelle Pittigree, status quo. Town attorney, Shehi Furlong and Bem, status quo. Town service officers, once again, open. Dog control, Windsor PD. Custodial officer for Vermont Judicial Bureau, Windsor PD. Health officer, Andy Vitapal. He's a member of our fire department and has been our health officer for some time. Regional Planning Commission, me. Transportation Advisory Committee is once again open. Joint Rivers Commission and alternate. We have an opening and Jim Bennett has agreed to continue. Solid Waste Delegate and Alternate, that is open. Senior Solutions Council on Aging is Sally Laurent. Tree Warden, still me. Paradise Park Commission, Rebecca Haynes, Ann Roy, Paula Robbins, and Tom Dunn. Planning Commission, currently there are 5 members. Charter allows for 9. None of their current members are up, and I have no requests for additional. Development Review Board, Paul Dwarren, Lawrence Jones. Alternatives open. Conservation Commission has 5 spots. They're all open. Jedi Committee has 4 spots, and a youth, they're all open, and Energy and Sustainability has 5 spots, and they're all for 1 year. Well, the just like the assessor, that's a 1-year term. The boards and commissions have years associated with them based on how many years the term is for.
But everything else is a year.
Yep.
Heather,
Should I wait till we make a motion and then ask a question, or?
you can ask a question.
So how does that work if you're appointed for a year, but you step down in a few months? What happens at that point? Do we have to re-up that position, or?
The thing, like, one of them is the Regional Planning Commission. I've been on that board a while. I'm on that as a resident of Windsor, so I can continue on that. I think maybe Trevor may want to do that, but it'd still be valid. And the tree warden is just that, you know, I can still do that as well as I've always done it.
So I guess, I don't know, there's been a little discussion. I have questions on the zoning administrator. I'm okay with all of the rest of everything on this list.
Mhm.
But I have a lot of questions and I'm hesitant on the zoning administrator. And so I don't know, like, I don't know, but there has been a lot of complaints, like just through probably the last year, probably before then, but, I mean, if we're gonna continue with the same zoning administrator, Hallie, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, sorry. But I think like maybe there should be like some expectations, and like, I know that we don't have a contract with her. Is that something that like we could do? Or,
I guess you say you have a lot of questions, you should ask them.
well, yeah, okay, so I'm going on, let's see. So Mary had sent an email, what was that, last week or a few days ago? I don't know, this week all kind of blends in together. So does the zoning administrator currently have a contract with the town? Which we know that no, right now, she does not have a contract with the town. Another question was, what is the current status of the shared regional zoning administrators arrangement that originally involved 2 people? And yes, we did start out with 2 people, Ryan and Hallie. Ryan now works for Weathersfield. Hallie was working for Bellows Falls and Windsor through the end of March, but now Bellows Falls has hired its own full-time zoning administrator. So Hallie is now freshly just employed by Windsor. So I know that that just changed. And then how much are we currently paying for this position? So her salary is, and I'm sorry, all these questions did get answered
Mhm.
before the meeting, but this is what I'm talking about. So her salary is $65,000 a year. And this is what Bob Haight used to get. And this covers 40 hours a week, but I know that that hasn't been happening. And so like, there's more, but just on this part, like, is she planning on covering 40 hours?
She's always worked 40 hours, just not for Windsor.
Okay,
And at the end of March, the Bellows Falls part stopped. So, and she's in town for the rest of the month, and I had a conversation about, you know, the expectations that if we're gonna cover the entire salary, there's more expectations.
Yeah. And then, I mean, but also, and especially if she's only working for Windsor, you know, like, it's really hard to get a hold of her. And then I think the biggest complaint that I've received is just that she either doesn't get back to people in a timely manner or doesn't get back to people at all. And so I'm just wondering, like, is that going to be something that we work on? Let's see. Emma?
I just wanted to ask Tom, like, what can you speak to about hearing this? Like, have you heard this before about issues about it? Like, this is kind of, what can you give your perspective? And also, I want to be sensitive to saying like, this is somebody's performance and I don't know how much we should be talking about this right now in here, but like,
Well, I think what we're talking about is very general, and it's an appointment.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem. I don't think she'd have a problem.
okay,
There's no doubt her weakness is customer service.
okay,
Okay. Also, I kind of equate this to the same way as like the recent conversation of nobody knows who Chief Daniels is. Lots of people know who Chief Daniels is. It's just they're not where Chief Daniels is at the time. But does Chief Daniels hang out the way Jen did? No. But is it a systemic problem? No. So where Allie's weakness has been is there's two components. She has operated in a highly professional environment her entire career, which means she's used to having professionals make requests of her and to report to professionals. And our conversations have been, you have to expect people coming in here have no idea about zoning. They have never filled out a zoning application before. The answer isn't, here's where the regulations are. They're come in and I'll sit down and fill it out with you. And that specific conversation happened again today. On the other side, and kind of look at it, if you're a highly skilled person, the least challenging things that you do are the mundane things. So she's, more interested in the planning and town plan and that kind of stuff. There's also been a glitch where about a year ago, we started using an online form. You can go online, fill out the forms, they're all there. And while we have worked with the vendor several times, I'm thinking we may just abandon that. But what the application, somebody would fill out an application and then no one would know. So you'd go back and check and maybe you'd find it, maybe not, but there's supposed to be a communication that goes out to Hallie every time something that happens. Internally, we have Michelle and Riley both cross-trained on basic stuff. Like, here's your application. You can give me your application, that kind of thing. And I am very familiar with several of the people who have been frustrated, and they have had frustrating requests. Some of it has been Hallie didn't get back timely. Sometimes it's not getting the answer they want. And all of this is she has to be in town much more. That's happening. I'm not going to get into her whole, I think everybody knows she's going through the whole green card work visa process. And there's been significant progress on that, and she's at the end stages. That still means like a year plus before it happens. But not that this drives the conversation, but if Windsor is not her employer, the whole process ends. And she's got to go back to the beginning. And so it's a fairly significant impact on her life and her family. The reason she's here and has always been here is when she got hired, we had just finished a study on the prison property. And she is a highly skilled planner. And I thought it's important to have a highly skilled planner to engage the state in that conversation. And her resume is head and shoulders above anybody else's. And she's done work for the regional planning agency. We're just starting the update of our town plan. And the biggest part of Hallie and I's conversation this morning was, that's why you're here. Like, you have to do the customer service. You have to hold people's hands when they come in. That you have to do. The way is more, we understand your value more. She's not here to hold people's hands. She's here to make sure that she works with the regional planning agency and our planning commission to do an excellent town plan, not an average town plan. And the regional planning agency has all of the technical expertise. They know what you're allowed to do, and what you're not allowed to do. Simply put, our planning commissioner, other than Harry, are not professional planners. And oftentimes planning commissions start dreaming about things that they want to have done that there's no foundation, reality, or ability to get through the regulatory environment. So take the vision that the planning commission is supposed to provide with the technical expertise that the regional planning agency is supposed to have. And the expectation is at the end of the year, we're going to have a very good town plan. And I think that's important. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. And whether you appoint her or not doesn't have anything to do with whether she could work past tomorrow or not.
Emma, have you had any other complaints besides like how I have only had one comment to me by somebody, and it was somebody I work with that has yelled at me about select board things fairly frequently and would tell me like it is. And he said it was more recent. It was in the last like 3 months, but he had a quick response from her. So I don't know, but I am hoping that somebody that is as skilled as Tom is describing and is like, knows this and has an expectation, and there was a direct conversation, do you think that there's ever going to be a need for her to be on something like a PIP, or can you, I don't know if you can speak to that at all right now, but like, if there's issues, they will be addressed, right?
Yeah, and I would say the most common issue has been people who want to walk into the office without an appointment and see Hallie. And she's not here, and they leave. And they come back, and she's not here, and they leave. And sometimes it's that combined with, I want to do this, and I'm being told I'm not allowed to. And I'm not going to get into there's been some pretty weird
Yes.
things, but like last night they had a DRB meeting that included the restaurant that wants to go into the old McDonald's, somebody that wants to put an addition, somebody that wants a fence, and John, you're still here. There was another one, right? I from what I understand, that all went well. So that's the job, to write solid opinions. And I can tell you that McDonald's is there, and we paid the price still because that was allowed through a DRB decision to build a building in a flood zone where that building's 9 feet underwater. And we have suffered financial and regulatory repercussions for that. But that's what happens when you have
Now,
don't follow
wasn't
the
it,
rules.
wasn't it also like she only responds email, and like a lot of people, I had like, this is where I've had older people who are like, I need to be able to call her or come in and see her. And so is that something that possibly is changing now that she's more local? I guess, so my take on this is this position pays $65,000 a year. That's pretty good. And so everything you said is true. I was on the planning commission for a year. I think Hallie is great. She's very, very smart, so smart. But with that being said, this position, this is a full-time position. We are paying you a full-time salary. And so my question is, I know that this just happened, that she just became just Windsor, but can there be some type of like, if we're paying you a full-time salary, I'm going to expect full-time work from the zoning reader. And so I guess that's what I'm getting to is I guess for these seats here, like you don't normally have a contract for those positions. Is that correct?
Yeah, we don't, these are appointments. all of the department heads have contracts.
But
Well,
can we have some type of, what do you call it, expectations of this is what we expect, or I
There are.
don't, I don't know.
There. We'll just leave, right? In a nutshell, I gave her her job description again, walked through it, talked about attendance, response times, getting down in the very small weeds with people, and the expectation of really carrying her weight with the town plan. That's the conversation that happened today. I said, with the change in my position and the need to do the town plan, that's what you need to do to maintain your employment. There is no guarantee that the new person will keep you. There's nothing about this appointment that guarantees you a job. So if you want to be stable, then you have to do these things. My expectation is, because of the consequences of her not doing that and the fact that there's some difficulty in finding a place to live, like for everybody. And she's got 5 kids. So I think she's putting honest effort in, and she will be here much, much more.
Okay. Yes.
Do you know if you had mentioned that she had found a place, a shared place. Is she planning on staying in this area, in the state?
That's what- yeah, that-
I think, I
What-
believe
just
she
was it-
has to at this point.
Okay.
There's a couple levels. On a personal level, she says she really likes living here. Okay, everybody likes living here when they're here, right?
Right.
On her visa situation, at this stage, she has to be living in Vermont. Okay. Third, once she gets her green card, there's a high expectation that she maintains the employment here to make sure there's not a question of whether or not it was a disingenuous effort
Mhm.
to do this. I don't know what that means as far as, like, are there going to be people checking on that? I don't know. Then there's nothing illegal if she went someplace else. But here's the professional struggle that is legitimate. She's highly skilled and working in a state that essentially doesn't want development. They want rural character. So the things that she has been involved with are pretty grand in scale. And some of her frustrations here has come, like part of our conversation yesterday was signage off the interstate. And why is that not allowed? Wouldn't our businesses be doing better? Yes, some say, but then we'd have signs on the interstate. Right now, it's a higher priority not to have that look than it is to put signs out to support businesses. And that's a legitimate, objective. So don't fight it. It's not within our control. Work within what we have.
I think we don't necessarily need a contract, Tara, because as Tom explained in my email, that she's at will. So if someone's not performing, then like he just said, there's recourse. So
I do think the lack of customer service is overblown, but it exists. But it's a very small part of the amount of business that comes through. And I know there's a hesitancy about the phone calls because she speaks very quietly and she has an accent. And she's not the only employee here with that same situation, and the other one is exactly the same. Because they have difficulty communicating on the phone. I mean, there's a legitimate thing to it.
if she's more available around, then that might.
That's right, yeah, so that, and I've told her, she says, well, I don't want to be on the phone. I said, that doesn't work.
Right.
That it's got to be like this, but being here more frequently helps.
John?
Will there be hours
Hmm.
where this person will be available?
I think when we get it settled, there'll be probably set hours, kind of like Bob Hates. Like when Bob Haight was here for 10
I
years,
think that's a big problem. And I wear 2 hats, one as
Mhm.
a review board and that interaction, but I also have had some where I need to go to the zoning administrator.
Yeah.
And like other offices, the town clerk, even if it's 1 day a week.
Yeah.
At least I can go and see someone. So I would hope that it might be part of the arrangement. That's all.
I assume so. And the reason I'm not more specific about that is for 10 years, Bob was the zoning officer and he lived in town and he had office hours that were like 9 to noon, 3 days a week. He was almost never keeping those hours because he was accessible and he was much more willing, like, don't come into the office. I'll come out to your place and you can show me what you're doing. So if the customer service is being met, and I agree that hours that you can count on should be part of that service. I mean, even the other way, I get probably one of the bigger complaints is the offices here aren't open on Fridays. Because for some people, they think it should be, and that's fine. So yes, it should happen. And if people need that to get good service, that I expect will be part of it. How many there are, will be depend on how big the demand is.
Thank you, John. Well, I feel better now about voting on this as a slate, but I just wanted to get that out since it was up.
All valid.
Anyone else have anything? All right, so do we have a motion to appoint everyone that Tom listed as a slate?
I will make a motion that we appoint everyone named on this 2026 terms for municipal appointments document.
I second.
Is there any more discussion? Jeffrey, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those have passed. And we're going to move on to another action item to consider the 2026 liquor licenses.
Hey, and there's one of these on your computer. Riley got this to me. Thanks, Jason. Yep, you're all good.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Congrats.
So, I have this nice colorful sheet that Riley gave me in plenty of time. I won't. So we have local liquor licenses. Just as a reminder, the state issues the liquor licenses that allow places to serve liquor. The local liquor licenses are more like if we were aware that there were problems with a particular establishment serving underage people, doing things like that, and we thought that we didn't want them serving liquor here, we can not offer them a license and then they have to go deal with the state. So that's what this is all about. In the past, Riley would give the board licenses to vote on as they came in. And like a lot of things, some people are always early and other people have 15 calls before they do it. So what she suggested is to vote to approve all, or if you don't want to approve somebody, do it now. So when their applications come in, all she has to do is send it back to the state.
Okay.
Hmm?
That was my question. Yeah, I was like, well, are we covering for Georgetown Tavern or Harpoon but it's stuff they're paying to the state, not to Windsor?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, this really is more like, hey, if Dollar General's got kindergartners running in there getting 12 packs, and everybody knows it, we should stop.
This isn't New Orleans.
Okay.
We're working on it. So I can go down, well, just for the record, there are 3 classes. First class license is drink sales, beer and wine only. Second class is retail sales, beer and wine only. And third class is drinks sales with liquors and spirits. So if you're getting beer and wine in any kind of way, that's 2 different kinds. If you're getting a cocktail someplace, that's a level 3. Do you want me to read through all the various places and licenses? Just the places? What would you like?
Maybe just go through the places.
Okay.
I mean, if it's all the same, right? They're the same that they were last year.
Yeah, and I think once you hear the names, you're gonna say, oh, I know what can happen.
Okay.
So you have the American Legion, Cumberland Farms, Dollar General, Elks, Georgetown Tavern, Harpoon, Larkin Country Club, Pizza Chef, Price Chopper, Silo, Simon Pierce. That may be a surprise. Retail sales, beer and wine only, and Station Restaurant.
It appears, yeah, they don't sell liquor down there, do they? Not that I know. You would know.
No, from what I have heard as a resident of Windsor, They do sometimes sell wine in the store, not always,
Oh.
Didn't know that.
but it's fancy wine.
And I just, in the past, I thought it had something to do with either an event or like something special going on, and rather than having to go through the rigmarole every time, just get one of these standing ones and, it'll be in place.
They do sell a lot of wine glasses.
They had it, you get a free refill every time, it'd be worth the price.
All right, so we would just need a motion to consider the 2026 liquor licenses as Tom just listed them.
I will make the motion to approve the list of the people included on the liquor list for this year. Is it this year? Did you? Yeah, for this year.
I second.
Is there any discussion? Jeffrey, how do you vote?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Liquor licenses have passed.
They appreciate it. They all know how hard it is to actually approve of liquor consumption anywhere in town, given the sensibilities of the board, so.
We have another action item. Consider moving bank accounts from M&T Bank to Mascoma Bank. M&T is closing the Windsor branch in June, so this would be, are you doing these together? Account transfers and
We'll do
authorized
account
signers?
transfers will be one vote and authorized.
And then, okay, so we're gonna start with account transfers. Consider approval of the transfer of the following accounts from M&T to Mascoma: the Autumn Moon Fund, Paradise Park Checking Fund, Town Clerk Restoration Fund, Revolving Loan Fund, A, Friends of Recreation Fund, Trust Fund, HRA Fund, General Fund, My Rec Fund, and Municipay Credit Card Fund.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and move that bank account for the account transfers.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Emma?
Are there any like differences at all in what we're in the bank accounts stats? I don't know, like,
No, like we
It's
do a fair amount of banking with Mascoma where there had been, say, a lack of service possibilities. Is M&T and people before that were much more adept at electronic processing and records, like go online, we could see all of our stuff,
Yeah.
cancel checks. Mascoma has got up to speed more recently on all that stuff, so it'll be seamless and frankly, the customer service at Mascoma has been very solid, much more so than the comings and goings of the various banks that have occupied the other building.
Yay. Any other comments? All right, Jeffrey, how do you vote?
I,
Aye. Next is for authorized signer. Consider approval to designate Natalia Kalma and Tiffany Bosaw as authorized signers on the above accounts.
Make a motion that we approve Natalia and Tiffany as authorized signers on the accounts.
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion?
Are these the same folks that have been designated previous? It's just, yeah.
Same, just different bank.
Jeffrey, how do you vote?
I,
Aye.
Aye. All right. We have another action item to consider approval of a temporary bond anticipation note in an amount not to exceed $350,000 for public highway improvements for Depot Avenue, Central Street, River Street, Commerce Park, and other public improvement projects such as the skate park for a term of 4 months.
Okay, so this is bond authorization that has been provided at prior town meetings. The next, the bond applications are, the state has them now. So it happens, we give stuff to the state bond bank, then they aggregate all the state stuff, they go to Wall Street, they sell the bonds, and then we get the money. So we are not gonna get the money from the bonds until August sometime, but we'll be doing the construction this summer. So this allows us to have the funds on hand while we're doing it.
Do you like a motion?
Yep.
Motion to consider the approval of the temporary bond anticipation note for 300, not to exceed 350,000 for those public highway improvements.
I second.
Is there any discussion? Jeffrey, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye. Last action item is to consider authorization for the town to bid on properties to be put up for tax sale on June 23rd at 2 p.m.
So this is something we haven't had to do in the past. So I don't know if it's a new state requirement, part of legislation, but we have always bid on properties that nobody else does. So the attorney just said, get a resolution from the board. There's, I'm going to say 6 or 7 properties. Some of them are the usual suspects that come through in the end. Others are been problematic. One of them's that, like the house across from Mr. G's. It's had all the drug activity and stuff like that. So anyway, we if there aren't any other bidders, then the town steps in and bids. So then we at least have control of the situation. We also get the problems to go with it, but we have control.
So I'm trying to, someone approached me about a house that they'd been notified was going to be, up for bid and were very upset about it. So I'm wondering if we could know which houses we're talking about. I mean, okay, there's the one across from Mr. G's. Is there one on the dry cleaners? That's the one I was getting. About. The
Yeah, I
old
think so.
property, the old. Because they got a letter. This family got a letter saying your house is being put up for auction.
The Maple Street address?
Yeah, and they
Okay.
kind of freaked out. And I didn't know, I didn't have any input. I couldn't offer them anything. Is that one that's,
So this is the process for everyone, and I don't know them all off the top of my head.
okay, that's,
And I give you the list. I mean, it's all public information.
okay.
But at this stage where we are is if they don't redeem it prior to the sale and it goes to sale and the town or somebody else buys it, they still have a year to redeem it. They pay a 1% interest a month on the money that's held in escrow. Is there a way to stop it? There's not. Because you can't say, oh, I feel bad for them, so we're not going to do it, but I don't feel bad for you, so we are. But there's provisions for
I think
that.
that was the request. And I explained that they had a year to redeem it and they said the lawyer's letter did not indicate that. And I said, well, I can't speak to that, but I'm telling you that that's my understanding. Okay, I just wanted to, I'm gonna stay out of it. I am staying out of it, but it just, I didn't know if that was included in this or not. It sounds like it probably is. If they
There's
got,
an awful lot of communication that goes before it gets to
Okay.
the States. And it's a pretty long list that starts.
Oh.
You're delinquent, you're penalized, and I mean, keeping in mind that now you have to be delinquent for 2 years.
right. and I-
But you start getting the delinquencies from the month you're delinquent. So every single month you're getting something. And then starting around December, you start getting the things saying, hey, you're gonna go to tax sale. These are the things you have to do. Call the attorneys. Like, nobody is legitimately surprised, but lots of people are way out of their depth. You know, they're not in this situation because they're great with managing personal finances or their life is, a shining.
And that's what's happening here. And I just stay away from that, but I did tell them they had a year to redeem it. As it sells. So I was not believed, but that's okay.
Hi, Paula.
I'm coming back, it's a school concert going on. Right
Oh,
now. So double duty.
All right, so we would need a motion to authorize the town to bid on properties to be put up for tax sale on June 23rd.
Make that motion that we have authorization to bid on properties for tax sale.
second.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, where do we get the money to buy these houses?
We don't have to have any money.
Oh, we don't.
No, like they owe us money.
Yes, I know, but
So all we, like, if somebody is sitting there and somebody says, I'll bid, soon as it goes above the taxes we're owed, we get out.
Oh,
But if nobody bids,
okay.
then there's no pressure
Okay.
to anybody to pay. So this is just, we bid up to the value that they owe us.
Okay, I didn't know. I just didn't know where we had this pot of money sitting.
All right. Jeffrey, how do you vote? Mary?
I,
I,
Aye. Aye. All right, we're gonna move into old business. We have a housing update. An offer was accepted for the sale of 38 Jarvis Street.
Now we're going the other way. There was a lot of interest in the house. The asking price was 139. Yep. And, so an offer was made. We have a $10,000 deposit in escrow. And the closing right now is expected for June 5th, I believe. So, and it's intended for owner occupancy. So
I thought the email said that was,
Dependent on.
depends on the inspection and financing.
so far everything's going along fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was the original offer, but the deposit's been made, which is generally the sign that, okay, we haven't, there was, there may be some pipe underneath that needs some little attention, but there's no, hey, you need a new roof or some huge thing. And it's
You
been,
never know until the paper is
well,
signed.
that's all true,
When it
but
comes to housing, so.
right now we're expecting that it's all going as it's been planned. So.
Very cool.
On the other houses, they have been shown several times, no offers. They should be, I'm gonna say they should be rentable anyway, June 1st. And I will, admit to a mistake I made. Greg and I talked several times about appliances being included, and I am certain that he assured me that they were, but I went through the contracts and they're not. So we got a couple of washers and dryers and refrigerators and stoves to buy. I figure we'll be into it for maybe $5,000. They're all apartment size, so they're pretty small. When we were,
So he was right that
he was
day.
right that day. I said, no way. And in my head, and I'm not saying anything, this is what I think happened. I think these are the first ones Greg sold. We went through things. I kept saying, so these are turnkey. For this amount of money, somebody can move in and live in the house. Has everything. Yes, they are. And when I looked at the specs, it said like, electric oven or something like that, but it's hookup for electric oven. So I think he was on a learning curve. I wasn't clear enough. I certainly didn't read things. I was going by the expectations of our conversations. But when it came down to it, and he says, I don't see that in the contract, it's because it wasn't. So there you go. Sorry about that.
But we'll have appliances. Are the appliances there yet?
They're not. I was gonna get a hold of
Okay.
Mike Kamick and say, what do you guys do? And see if they have like a contractor price or something.
Okay. Well, we'll move into the town manager report. And I'll let you take it all away.
Okay, be clear-eyed at the next meeting. We will be going through some financial buttoning up for the end of the fiscal year. Some of the things that we've talked about in the past are, we got bond authorization for $540,000 for work on the dam that was done in 2012 that we never got money for. And we were originally told we could not bond for that. We were recently told we could bond for that. I'm not suggesting it happens, but that would be one way to bring $500,000 in to help with the cash flow that gets very tight. My expectation is we can just keep contributing to our capital and reserve funds, and that adds more money to our bank accounts every year, and eventually we can get out of it with that bond. The other thing is, we have run $250,000 deficit last year. That was the whole education spending, nothing in the capital reserve thing. And this year we'll probably run a $200,000 deficit-ish as well, and at least 100,000 of that is having to pay for the HVAC bond. Usually you wait a year of this low interest thing we have to pay every month. We didn't get a loan to outfit a police car. And those things, the suggestion is going to be to pay for that stuff with the reserve funds. So I think once we get all that stuff done, there'll be like $100,000 operating deficit, which isn't so bad. A lot of that had to do with the dump in ambulance revenue that we had the first 3 months that has recovered for the rest of the year. So at any point, it's going to be just tying up my 15 years here, making sure going into the next fiscal year, things are solid. I'll tell you now, I'm going to suggest that when you set the tax rate, you add a couple of pennies to cover the deficit that we're running now. It's an allowable thing to do. It sounds like when we put the budget together and voted at town meeting, our budget's up like 10, and the schools, the state was saying was going to be up about 14. So now they're saying the school is going to get maybe 4 because they're buying down the rate again this year. So we could go up a little bit and it would still be like a 6%, but it would certainly take serious steps towards making sure we're back to square. And in Italianized conversations today, the trailing effects of COVID that mostly are lack of availability of equipment, the labor market shortage and the big adjustments to payroll that have both been big contributors. The equipment shortage hasn't gone away, but now we know. What happened is when we weren't getting vehicles that we had on order, one of the big contributors to last year's deficit was way higher than expected maintenance and repair bills on a lot of our equipment. And we know now that the truck that we were supposed to get last fall for the winter that we still don't have and hopeful we'll have this, that we're ordering, I'll wait for Trevor to get here to place another order for another truck that's going to be 18 months instead of, 6 months. So hopefully that'll stabilize things. And we do have cash reserves here. The problems come in this time of year and in December when the tax collections happen when they do. We have delinquencies, and I've gone into the whole thing. We're $1.5 million behind like all the time because of tax collections. We collect utilities in the rears. We have various grants and stuff that we have to pay for and then get the money back, that kind of stuff. So this will make sure everybody understands exactly where we are and the cash flow will be better. No big surprises. Transition update. Riley and James Aldrich are planning a community picnic for Monday, June 15th, which is Trevor's first day. Be from 4 to 7 at the fairgrounds. So it'll be
You said 4 to 7?
4 to 7. Fire department and other town staff will be doing hot dogs and hamburgers and stuff like that. Bounce house will be out there, stuff for kids to do, and I'll be there. Trevor will be there. It'll be a party.
What day did you say it was?
Monday, June 15th.
All right, I'll be there.
Okay.
Is this the first time we're going to introduce Trevor to the community? That's it? Or
Yeah, in the broader sense, like Trevor was in last Thursday for a couple of hours, but I think this will be the first public.
Like
here you are.
public.
okay, all right. Just want to be sure we.
And they'll be promoted that way.
Is there a backup plan if the weather's raining?
I'm sure they'll postpone it if it is. That's what they
Oh, no,
usually do.
I don't know.
Oh, maybe we'll do it in the rain.
That's why
Well,
I'm asking.
If the weather's looking bad, we're gonna have it in the gym, the rec center.
Nice.
Will this be family, Trevor's family as well, or are we just going to do Trevor?
Haven't got there yet.
Okay, just curious how
He's
he's.
available, I'm available, the rec's available, everybody's available. It can happen. Next level is, so how does that fall into your baseball, soccer, whatever other family things you have? So, and I'm gonna, now I know I haven't appreciated that. I have like days where, gosh, I don't have anything to do. And then I have really busy days wrapping everything up. And I'm sure he's going through the same things up there. That I think it'd be great if he was here for dump day It's just a very positive day and it's a great way to meet people a little more intimately. So we'll see if we can do that, 'cause that's that Saturday before.
Oh, nice.
So, we'll see.
Speaking of dump day, I know in the past, I've never participated in it, but is there an expectation that we as a board are participating in that event, the dump day? I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to understand.
I've never seen a board member
That's
that,
what I thought.
No.
What do you mean?
Okay, one time.
Well, wait a minute now, and Paul.
That's what I'm trying to clarify, because I know Paul wouldn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
He
We'll-
didn't because he wanted
And then
to,
Kathy
he
Hood's
liked
been
it.
there. So I mean, so I'm just trying to understand. I've never considered I had a role, but there are other people who show up who do. I didn't know.
I'm gonna say that's either a shortcoming or the charm of Vermont. That when I was a select board member, I was expected to be everywhere. And it was, but there was politics. Like I've said, I had to put up 200 yard signs, things
Right.
like that. As the elected vision of the community, if you can be at a public event, you should. There's no official role other than the glad hand, and don't, on things like that. It's a positive thing.
Right.
But I have met a lot of people and have got a lot of very good information just hanging out directing traffic. And what I don't like doing, I don't like holding the donation bucket. I don't like being the guy that is responsible for the taxes and then saying, plus give me more, please, so. I'm a firm believer that people who don't use the rec and don't use the fire and the police, dump day is what their taxes pay for. So I don't feel like you need to pay anything extra, but that's just me. And we always get $600 or $700 in donations. So it's kind of a nice thing.
At dump day?
At dump day.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
So, and there's, don't be the person volunteering to throw the tires in.
Right. That's.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna throw.
But,
Churches and stuff do breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
There's streams that it's one hub, but it impacts a lot of different community organizations.
and a very broad cross section of people who participate or don't participate in other things. And just being there for a little bit and walking up and down and saying hello is fine. It's never happened. So it's not like you'd be conspicuous by your absence, but if you feel compelled to be there, it's a nice way to meet people.
What's the day again?
16th. No, 13th. So weekend before.
Saturday the 13th,
13th.
9 to noon, or a little earlier.
I already got it in there. Wait, 9 to noon? I put 9 to 2.
No way.
Whoops.
So you can stay there that late.
No. Perfect. So the welcome picnic sounds really cool. I was also hoping for something like that. Like,
And I
you
don't think that's gonna be the only thing.
yeah,
Time is coming along pretty quickly, and I think as Trevor's getting his schedule set, we've had conversations about doing something, maybe it's Silo it or Harpoon, like just, we're there, come and meet us, kind of like what you guys do, outreach. So I think by the time the end of June gets here, everybody who wants to be familiar with them or if that will have that opportunity.
I'm just thinking about the police chief and how that's not been, this is a different situation, but anyway, I don't want people wandering around saying what they do about not knowing who, even after the planting day that I was at the other day, and he was there, after he left, people were going, including John McGovern, were saying, where's the police chief? I said, he was here. So I don't know how to connect people. That's what I'm concerned about.
They don't know what he
It's
looks
one
like, I
thing for
guess.
him to show up, but people are asking me who it is and they missed him. So I guess I don't want that to happen again.
Well, I'm going to suggest don't extrapolate the opinions of a handful of people into something bigger than it is. I know what Bill does for his day. I know, for example, when Paul Favreau was out, the school resource officer, Bill was at the school at least 3 days a week, interacting with the kids, the parents drop off things. So if you were in that, you're probably not one of the people saying, I don't know who Bill is. But he's not Jen.
I know, I
And
know.
so, and like I suggested to him, hey, why don't you go out? Well, he happened to be here for Green Up Day.
Right.
And then the, road he picked, which I didn't think was really a road, was going through Paradise Park. So he did that so that he could come and see what was going on over there, but didn't go there just to see the folks there.
Okay.
He did there. And for me, I go to Green Up Day every day year. I hang out there, pick up some trash. I used to get my picture taken picking up trash, so people believe I did it. And then I went over and, hung out with the trees and stuff, just because there's usually something that I need to know about. Somebody's run out of something or things like that. But Bill, it's, Ernie is the same way. Ernie's around. Nobody says, hey, how come I don't know Ernie? How come I don't know Kevin? But I also see the cops in the wreck more than you would think. So I've made it clear you need to have more of a public presence, but I don't view it as an avoidance issue.
No, I don't either. I don't either. I just am thinking, I think we need to make sure Trevor
It's out there.
it's orchestrated for him. So, yeah,
That's, I will help as much as, wants to help.
right,
After that, I would say you guys
right.
do things to get them introduced. And that's why I think him taking my place on the Regional Planning Commission would be good to meet those folks.
Yes.
My town manager thing, would be good for, him to take that over, and that's that group of folks. And then there's some key people I can introduce them to that are were very helpful to me, like their positions. Anyway, he needs to know people at the school, people at the hospital, people at Artisans Park. So.
Maybe come to concerts on the common sometimes, and maybe as a
Right.
select board, we could kind of be there and facilitate, maybe, I don't know.
Well, I think that's like the reason he was down here Thursday is because he was meeting his parents in Springfield and doing some drive-bys on houses. But that's why I thought you can't do this job remotely. It's too personal of a community, I think.
Yeah.
And he strikes me as the kind of person that he's as comfortable around people. I don't think he's a used car salesman that can talk, sell ice cubes to Eskimos or whatever that saying is, but I think he's personable and should work out.
Maybe what we just need to do is like, if he's at an event and any one of us is there and people come up and speak to us, make sure we introduce him.
Yes,
Like
have you
when,
met the new
when
town
Bill was
manager?
somewhere, it's like, oh, just make sure you put in, hey, chief, like so people, oh, there's the face, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I just think we need to be aware. That's
Yeah,
all.
I think that's a good idea.
Let's see. So that's kind of transition planning.
Okay, I was like, is that transition?
Yeah, well, that's kind of, all right. Yeah, so
Well, what's the?
we're meeting with staff, and like we're taking care of the things you would think would normally be taken care of. And, we'll see what the last 2 weeks of June looks like. It kind of mentioned as a joke who's in charge for like the meeting, the second week on 24th. I think I will be the one running that meeting. You're the one running the meeting. I'll be the one sitting here.
Question.
And then after, yeah, because neither of us thought about that. Yeah, so we're
Yeah.
both here. So and I'm fine. You want to run it, go ahead. But the likely will be trailing things that he's not up to speed on. So it's probably better like that. And I've made a number of commitments to, if anybody needs me for continuity on something, I'm here.
Will we, maybe it's too early to think about this, but will we start one meeting a month starting in June? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
still the
June, July,
plan?
and
June, July, August, it's the
Just wanna
fourth Wednesday.
I was on board with that.
And if it turns out that there's a need for an earlier one, we can talk about that at the next May meeting. I don't see that happening.
I just realized we only have 2 more meetings with Tom.
Yeah.
There was a time today, I thought I only had one. I forgot. I thought, man, it's going slow.
That's crazy.
It is.
Right.
18 months ago, it seemed like a long way away.
I know. That is crazy.
Police cruiser.
Yeah.
We had one of our fine young officers put one in the woods, the overnight shift. It's got about $8,000 worth of damage. So,
Yikes. What was he doing?
I
Like-
think he fell asleep.
Oh, no.
I think, so.
What?
Yeah, driving in the neighborhood, going really slow,
Yeah.
not good. There's internal stuff going on with that. I just wanted
Okay.
you to know. That
Okay.
happened.
And so we have to pay for that,
Oh, we have $1,000 deductible.
and then insurance will pay for the rest?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's,
You know, that's
Not
usually the
as
kind of thing that
bad.
ends up on Facebook. So.
I'm surprised I didn't see something,
It's been a while
honestly.
now, and
Wow.
we've had 2 accidents. Like in my whole time here, there was only 1. And then when we had an incident with the interactions with the county sheriff's office, one of our officers picked up the pursuit on somebody going through town that was being chased, and the guy slammed on his brakes. Rear-ended him. So that was like $5,000 damage. So 2. Sort of, like it's not a good thing, but it's, I don't like it when there are like the pursuit things, when people are not being good cops. Sleeping while you're driving is not being a good cop.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay.
Okay.
And so I will make a motion to go into executive session to 1 VSA 313 to discuss a contract, the premature general public knowledge of which would clearly place the town in substantial disadvantage. No votes will be taken.
Okay, there, Paige, you can either pop off or I'm gonna have to, push a button.
Like it knows us. I'm gonna call this meeting back to order at 8:20. And are there any board suggestions for upcoming agenda items?
Possibility one.
Mary?
I didn't know if this meant like in the next few meetings or like further, like down the line, like.
It means
Sure,
it's
yeah.
a suggestion, but it is always up to the chair what goes on the board.
You know
So,
what I mean? Like if it was more like a future, not,
oh, you mean like,
So-
you don't know if it's right now?
yeah.
Or- Well, put it,
What I was thinking of
lay it on us.
was, the Exchange building.
Uh-huh.
Behind the station restaurant. And it
I
has.
have interest in that.
Tom has said that it could have events there, but I really wonder if at some point in time, as a board, we may want to invest some money to try to see what would it cost for heating and water, running water in there, so we could hold events.
I'm with
Some
you.
money and rent it out and do all the things it could do. I know, Tom, you have said it's very, very expensive, and maybe even more so now, but I just would like to see if we could do something with that building that would be an asset to Windsor. So it would be a long-term.
I think the building improvement bond authorization that has 700,000 still on it, I think, anyway, would be a legitimate funding source if somebody wanted to do that. I think just to use it for regular, we went through it the other day, like the handicap ramp is a little tough. Anyway.
Just a conversation.
Yeah.
That was something that's kind of been on my mind.
I like that. Emma?
Are you saying like just to be in the town, like the welcome center, or do you mean like we're refitting it like we did with Jarvis?
Say that again, the last part, I'm sorry.
I was said, are you thinking like for us investing money in the property, do you want to do it so it's another like town building, like similar to the welcome center where it's like not an event space, but kind of an event space, or do you want to refit it like a home?
Oh, no, I'm thinking of like an event space, sort of like the welcome
Yeah.
center, but the town would own it. And I don't know what it would all look like. I think I've seen it in really great shape when it's
Yeah.
looked really good and it's a good building. So how could we use that building?
Yeah, I feel
Like
like
character and hold all kinds of events there.
either put money in it.
Especially where it is.
Yeah,
located.
either put money in it and make it something or tear it down if we're not gonna use it. Jeffrey?
I'm gonna add this to what you just said. There's been a lot of talk about it being a senior center amongst the seniors.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know
heard that.
about that. But my other question would be, what's the status, and we could answer it tonight, the status of the American Legion and the building on the corner in my
Good
neighborhood?
question.
Are they still, they're obviously occupying it because they're having events. Is
Okay.
that a process that's still going forward to move out?
Do we know?
The paperwork finally went through for the sale on the building on
Oh,
5.
okay.
They own both.
They own,
Oh,
well, we own
okay.
the Legion building. We own the
No,
building.
they do. The
On Court Street.
one on Court Street that the Legion is
Oh.
in that says Town Hall is owned by the
Damn.
Legion.
I did
The
not.
vision is if they didn't want it anymore, it would revert to the town, meaning like they
Okay.
can't sell it and pocket money.
Oh.
And means they can just walk away from it.
Okay.
They can only have one tax exempt building in town. That has to be their primary place of business.
Hmm.
So right now that's still the Court Street building.
Which
Um,
they had to close the other day for water problems.
Oh.
They've been having problems with. I have a feeling by the time it comes to us, it's gonna be,
there's already several $100,000 worth of work. that's
okay,
known
so
about it.
it's,
So anyway, so that's how it is. I don't know what kind of progress they've made on the second location or when when they would
Okay.
switch.
I was just curious.
all right. I've got that down, Mary.
Yeah,
That's a
just
good
for
one.
the,
Yeah.
future.
It's a good one. Do we have orders to sign tonight?
You do.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I will make a motion.
to Sign orders.
Sign order.
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? Jeffrey, how do you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, I'll push these along. There's the orders, just as a cover sheet. These are all documents related to that bond anticipation note. There are specific lines for specific people, so pay attention to where you're signing.
And what about board member comments? Would you guys like to start at this table while I sign some orders?
Sure. I don't have a lot to say today. I'm excited about having hot dogs with Trevor. I've had a couple of people approach me in town about the process and about Trevor, and it's been really nice to like speak to them confidently and say, we really did like the best that we could in the search, and we ended up getting someone really wonderful. And I'm excited for, I've had a lot of like kind of tough faces, and I've been able to like very honestly be like, we did our due diligence and we have a very good person coming in, and they've backed that. Yeah, so I'm excited for that.
You don't have anything. I don't really have anything tonight either.
I don't either.
There's more.
Now I want to make pear simple syrup.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
I've been making my coffee at home because I'm behaving, and I've been making simple syrups out of like berries that Milo hasn't eaten.
Why to get into that second?
Give it time. Heather, do you want to like do like
Really
this?
hard.
Yeah.
I still have a favorite song. Great Divide. It was on my playlist the minute that came on.
Jeffrey is still on his vice chair on all these, which I don't think really matters, but
Is what?
Jeffrey's still on here as the vice chair,
He must have lost-
which I think doesn't really matter and is a compliment for the girls too. It's fun.
I'm back.
Watch it together.
Sorry about that.
Oh, I don't care. I know who I am.
Well, I don't think it was until recently that they switched me to the chair on those, so.
There you go.
There are new people in Maxwell that handle these loans. There's new people in Bond Bank that handle these loans. Natalia is new to handle these loans. The attorney is new to handle them. And the laws have changed. So
Oh, one more thing. Oh, sorry. One of them had a lot, so I was sending it down the line. I'm also looking forward to the community picnic. I hope to see a lot of people there.
Songs are really singer songwriter.
right? People do it.
Yep.
They're so connected into the.
I know.
That brings-
Yeah.
That's the anti-
It definitely does. I wanted to do a block party. You know, I've wanted to do one forever. I even applied for a micro grant, but I didn't get it. And
I'm impressed.
So I'm just glad to see that
Jeez.
something's already been thought of.
You know how for the softball thing, they do beers? I was like, maybe we could do that for us, but I just, for the Trevor thing.
Things he says in Ben.
Oh,
But I don't know
like-
if that's necessarily how we want to be like, welcome to that.
Said that I would have played.
I would suggest maybe something else gets held up in parks. Like a meet and greet at our.
Gotcha.
They have their buffalo wings. Shout out to Harpoon Buffalo Wings.
They're huge. Pizza Chef's buffalo.
Did you know Pizza Chef has new owners?
Really?
Yeah, I just found out.
Like new.
Like new, not the people that were new, but now another new.
New.
And I was like, so I guess they've already started taking things off the menu, and I was like, I mean, it can't get worse, so.
Like way better.
So I'm hoping, that's what I'm hoping. I was like, I'll give him a shot again then, just to see like. But it kind of went downhill there for a minute.
Are we?
It was very, really until we're done signing orders.
So what's the update on the Mexican restaurant?
What Mexican
Fine.
restaurant?
I only-
McDonald's.
I don't even know if that's for.
going.
That is, what is it?
I mean,
Oh
Wait,
my
that's
God,
what's in there?
that one in Claremont.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
is that
That's what's
dog?
in there?
Are you?
For sure.
but I hope so.
Emma, is that that little, is that that little small place in, that you're always talking about? That's like her
Are we
favorite.
actually getting something cool?
But that's like,
That's what, are we actually getting something cool? I'm excited.
Recorded and you're talking about working businesses in our community, apparently not being cool.
oh my
Well,
God.
no, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying Windsor, they don't give us a lot. Like, we have like 2 restaurants, a gas station.
We have
but
some
like,
wonderful restaurants, but
we
we
don't
don't
have,
have a
like-
Mexican restaurant.
no. It would just be. nice
Raved
to-
about that place, Emma,
I
since the
love
first
it.
time you ate there in
I
Claremont.
love
Wait, which was it? It's called.
Yes, if I'm gonna continue my board member comment, I would say that I think we have incredibly diverse and varied food group situation here in Windsor. The one thing we are missing is a Mexican restaurant, and Casa Jalisco is an incredibly well-run business in Claremont that I have been to, and they are fabulous people, and the nachos that are the loaded nachos with the grilled chicken, not the whole chicken, all of it.
I'm with you.
I mean, I don't know.
When is this supposed to open up? Do you know?
That I don't. But they had an auction a while back. They didn't buy it, but they're leasing it from whoever.
Exciting.
It's more than just sitting.
That's it.
It needs that.
Exciting. All right. I'm gonna adjourn this meeting at 8:31.
I'm hot.